Welcome to Distilled the Bourbon podcast, where we drink bourbon and talk about it. I'm Brent. I'm here with my co-hosts Brian, Chuck, and Aaron. Aaron, today we're going to do our second short pour, and it's all about Booker's.
So Booker's, this is chapter 3, 126.6 proof. Booker knows pushback or whatever you want to call it. When Blanton started hitting the shelf, Booker wanted to release something, of course. And so Brian, tell us a little bit about Booker Knows release of Booker's.
Well, just like you said, it was shortly after Blanton's was released. That was in the 80s, of course, when bourbon was not cool like it is today. That was something additional into the market to hope to draw in new consumers.
So Jim Beam's response to
Buffalo Trace, or it wasn't. I don't think it's Buffalo Trace at the time.
George Stagg, probably.
George Stagg, yeah.
Distillery,
yep. And at that time, the concept was to take several different barrels, blend them, and that's what small batch is. There's no typical definition for what small batch is, but today, since 2015, they changed it to a quarterly release. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 for Booker's, and each one of those are very specific. It's almost like a single barrel. They take different barrels from different parts of the distillery, and that's what makes Booker's what it is.
And in the past, I've been a little underwhelmed by Booker's, so I've heard this one. Actually, I've had this one before, and it is by far the best of the Booker's I've had.
The difference between Booker's that you used to find on the shelf and this one is the fact that they've gone to that quarterly release.
Yeah.
And so
Booker 3 means like the third quarter release.
Third quarter release, yes, sir.
Yeah. Third chapter 3.
So chapters are little book,
yeah.
But
Sorry.
the release is I called it chapter 3 in the beginning, so it's okay. But yeah, this is the third release of 2023.
So in our short pour tradition, we're going to test the nose, test the taste, and then test the value, and then let you know what we think.
On the nose, I'm getting candy corn.
Candy corn.
This
is Christmas time. I mean,
I must have been punched in the nose a few times as a kid, because basically every nose we've had for the last several weeks, I get nothing.
So Brian's got never mind. I'm getting that nut profile that I get from a Jim Beam product. It's got a peanut brittle almost. It's sweet. The nose is great.
What do you think about the taste? It's definitely different. I like it. I think this is by far the best Booker's I've ever had.
I absolutely love it. I'll go with that far. This is for 126 proof.
Brian just said he loved a bourbon.
That never happens.
This is really good. For 126 proof, it really tastes like 100 proof bourbon.
It does.
There's no bite there. There's no Kentucky hug. I mean, it's just a really good pour.
Anybody could drink this one, but it's complex.
Well, anybody who's had a fair amount of whiskey in the past.
Okay, there you go.
I
Maybe not a newbie.
This isn't an intro bourbon.
Not at all.
I've been at bourbon tastings on distillery tours where somebody's having maybe the first whiskey they've ever had, like 90 proof makers, and there's like, this is not the first whiskey that you ever want to taste.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough. What do you think, Chuck? You like it?
I have to say, for 126 proof, amazingly smooth. I get more nose than I get on the palate. I'm gonna turn to Aaron for what he thinks.
No, I think it's delicious. 126 proof. Being an Elijah Craig fan, this one reminds me of some of those Elijah Craig barrel proofs that I've had in the past. Not any of the recent stuff. That's a different episode. Value. This is about $100 on the shelf. So as far as value goes, I think it's right up there. I would definitely pay $100 for it.
Brian, they don't stay on the shelf very long, do they?
They don't. No, actually, right before we got into the turret, I was on my phone, and one of the bourbon groups I was on that said that we had Booker's cheaper than Kroger, and it just happened to be the number 4. No
Oh.
worries, no worries, Brent. I got your bottle in the back, so so you're good.
You remember that episode where we said if you are searching for bourbon, get to know your liquor store owner?
Absolutely.
That's it.
Or the clerk. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
the clerk or the manager. Yeah.
So, Brent, are you buying a bottle? Are you buying a pour? You going to leave it on the shelf?
I'm going to buy a bottle of this every time. Now, I'm a little hesitant because I bought Booker's before and I've been sorry. But this number 3, yes, I would buy every bottle I could find at $100.
You know, for me, I'm buying the bottle. I really enjoy it. The problem with these batch series, it's like a single barrel. It really is. So all of them are very different. Would I buy a case of number 3? No, because I got way more bourbon than I can consume at home already. But I'm definitely taking a bottle home, and I would try the next pour of number 4 or 1 next year before I bought it.
I'd buy a pour. I like it. It's good. I know my wife doesn't want to be in the 126 proof category. Obviously, you can ice it down, water it down, but it's. I'm not going to leave it on the shelf, but I will have a pour.
I'm going to agree with Chuck on this one. I would buy a pour of this for, and kind of tie in what you've already said, how different all the batches are. I would buy a pour of this one. I like this one, but I would buy a pour of the rest of them to make sure I liked it as much as I like the batch 3.
What would you think a pour would cost at a bar? 25?
No,
18?
it shouldn't be that much. It should be about $15 to $20.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Booker's, with some mixed results. But that's what short pours are all about.
Yep.
So if you're a Jim Beam fan, if you like the high proof stuff, you're going to like this one. And let's have some high hopes for 4. You can probably find that here pretty soon on the Still Bourbon Podcast. Hey, don't forget to hit that like and thumbs up and subscribe button. And with that being said, please drink responsibly.